Welcome to Wednesday Wonder, where every Wednesday I'll be putting out a new video all about experimenting with film photography, mainly answering questions that you've given me in the past. Questions I don't even know myself until I start experimenting. I don't know, I'm just learning like you guys are. So this video is going to be about development times. Does it matter if you underdevelop by a minute or two? Or does it matter if you overdevelop by a minute or two? What happens? So I've got 3 canisters. I'm going to be taking a photograph with 3 pieces of film, put them in the canisters. And one I'm going to do normal development, the other 2 I'm going to do maybe 1 or 2 minutes under, maybe 1 or 2 minutes over. And we'll see the results at the end. These are only going to be quick videos, guys, so just a little bonus midweek. Hope you enjoy. So I'm going to be giving it large with ID 11 at 1:2 for 11 minutes at 20 degrees. And I've got 3 film canisters, you can see there, 1, 2 and 3. So I'm going to do the first one at 9 minutes, the middle one at 11 minutes, the correct time. And the last one I'm going to do for 13 minutes. So we've got 2 minutes either side. So all I'm left to do now is to take my photograph. So I'm going to put 1 strip of the Kodak inside the camera, take a photograph, do another strip, take a photograph, do another strip, take a photograph. Everything's going to be exactly the same. And I'm going to put the strips inside this tin until I'm ready to pour the developer into the tanks, and then put the strips into each and every individual tank. And then I'm going to have to take the films out one by one, obviously 9 minutes, and then 11 minutes, and then 13 minutes. Stop and fix them, get them dry, and have a look, see what they look like. Alright, so this is my scene here, very simple stuff. The Olympus OM20 has already got a strip of film inside. All I need to do is meter up, take photographs of this, and also put the little camera there as well, this old Ilford camera. It's got some black on it, so just be interesting to see the differences with blacks as well. So the old Buddha's sitting there, I've got to turn this light on, take the picture, and then I'll come back on the camera when I've done all 3 shots and loaded them all into the black tank, ready to go into the smaller tanks. So back towards the camera, bit of incident reading at 200 ISO. It's going to give me f8 15th of a second. That's good enough. And what I mustn't do now is after this, mustn't change any of the lighting. It's all got to stay the same. So let's do the first shot, first one done. So I've taken all my photographs. So I've got the first shot in there, second shot, third shot. All this was done in the dark. They're light tight. No light's going to get inside those canisters. I've got 13 minutes on the clock. So after 9 minutes, I'm going to pull that one. After 11 minutes, pull that one. And after 13 minutes, pull that one. This is the ID11 set to 1:2. And it's at 20 degrees. So all I need to do is switch all the lights off, fill these tanks up, and then start doing my inversions. So I filled each tank up in the dark, then I put the lids on, and then I started the clock. So I'm just coming up to the first minute of agitation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll continue this, and then I've got my stop bath there. The first one will go in there, and then I've got the fix as well, and I'll just cut a small notch in this one so I know which one it is, and the same again, and the same again. And then I'll turn the cameras back on when I've finished the process. So this is my final result. I did have another final result, that Kodak XX film. For some reason, the first frame that I did got exposed to light. I don't know where it come from, how it happened, and then I ran out of Kodak, so I couldn't use it again. But anyway, I went over to Silbeira 54 UN film, and the only difference is this was developed 1 part to 1 part, and the time given was 7 minutes. So I gave this one 5 minutes, this one 7 minutes, and this one 9 minutes. Obviously, you're going to see some difference. You've got 2 minutes under development, 2 minutes over development, and this one here was the correct development at 7 minutes. And already I can see in this one, the white part of the Buddha has gone black. The white part of the Buddha there is not so black, and the white part of the Buddha there on the underdeveloped negative is not so black again. So let's get these on the enlarger. I'm going to make a contact print. So I'll just have to stop cameras for a moment there and just stare at this contact print that I did, the test strip. I thought this doesn't look right, and then I've done a couple of tests and realised my developer is shot. That's gone. So I've just swapped developers over, and look, now you can see a complete difference. I just knew the blacks weren't coming out like they should have been. So I've ditched the developer, I've got a new developer in, that's my new test. So this is the contact print here that I've made, and that's the normal development negative. So that was 7 minutes. That's the under development, by 2 minutes. That was 5 minutes. And that's the overdevelopment by 2 minutes. That was 9 minutes. I don't know how it's coming out on the video. This one looks better, but it's still a bit blown out in the highlights. I've got to go with the one that I metered for when I'm looking inside the Buddha, the broken part there. And the underdeveloped negative there, you can see, that's, well, that ain't doing too much for us, is it? It's just a bit flat, a bit muddy. Not even worth printing, really. But either of these two would make a nice print, but that one there would certainly need a little bit of jiggery-pokery under the enlarger to try and get a print out of. So that's a contact print. I'm now going to just make a small 5x7 print of this, and I'm going to use exactly the same times for the underexposed and the overexposed, and we see that they look like blown up. So that was a bag of fun. I've been in there a couple of hours. I didn't expect to be in there that long because that Kodak Black, what's it called? BWX film. So that was a bag of fun. I didn't expect to be in here for 2 hours like I was, but that Kodak XX I was a nightmare. Oh, so that was fun and games in the darkroom. I didn't expect it to be that long trying this experiment out, but I screwed up the XX film and then it ran out. So then I had to grab some Seal Bearer film, which you saw. And then my developer crashed, so I had to put in a new developer as well. So I ended up spending more time than I anticipated in here. However, I still enjoy myself playing around and seeing what film does with different things. And that's exactly what these Wednesday night programmes are about. So let's look at the results of the underdeveloped, the normally developed and the overdeveloped negatives. So this is a 5x7 print of the normal developed negative. And it all looks nice. It all looks okay. The camera's come out well. I've got detail in the camera. I've got detail in the Buddha. The broken part of the Buddha, I can see there's highlight there, obviously, but there's detail in there, and just on the shadow of the Buddha's nose there's slight detail there, so nothing's gone too black, nothing's gone too crazy white either. So to me, I developed that negative well, and I've also made a nice print of it, other than all the hairs and the scratches, but we ain't gonna worry about that, are we? The underdeveloped one just looks too muddy. It's there's no detail, really lacking detail in the camera. The chrome on the camera isn't really shiny, although I've pulled a bit better detail back in the highlight on the Buddha where it's broken. That seems to be a little bit better detail. So let's look at the overdeveloped print. Well, it is what it is, it's overdeveloped. The blacks on the camera aren't really doing much, although there is more detail in the blacks on the camera, but you can see that the highlights are blown out, especially on the broken part of the Buddha and on that side of the Buddha's face, on the right side. When we look at the Buddha's eye and come underneath, there's not really much tone or shadow detail going on. So that overdevelopment has ruined the photograph. Although, saying that, I didn't do any tests on the enlarger for this or this. I could have made an equal looking print using contrast filters maybe. I didn't go that far into it. But I'm sure I could have controlled some of the detail in the overdeveloped and the underdeveloped as well on the enlarger using contrast filters or dodging and burning, what have you. But why go through all that trouble? I've got a decent print with no filters, no dodging, burning, nothing, just straight off. I think it was 2 seconds from the correctly developed negative. So there you go, that's a quick Wednesday wonder, overdevelopment and underdevelopment. Does it matter? Well, of course it does. You want to make sure that your development times are right when you're developing film. But if you're like me, sometimes I can get distracted and I can go overdeveloped a little bit, maybe half a minute, and I can go underdeveloped, maybe half a minute, not generally 2 minutes. But you can see there weren't a great deal of difference, you know, underdeveloping by 2 minutes or overdeveloping by 2 minutes. Certainly nothing that I couldn't have handled under the enlarger making a print, or you guys might have done the same, or if you're scanning in Photoshop, you know, the image is still there to be saved. But just a little interesting experiment for a Wednesday evening. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next week.